How am I getting my meds? Well, even for me this week, that's even changed, but I'll start from the beginning. Disclaimer for TikTok. I'm a registered nurse and licensed healthcare professional, and I am on this medication prescribed to me by my doctors, more than one of them in fact, for the treatment of my class 2 obesity with PCOS or polycystic ovary syndrome, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, and a touch of insulin resistance because of the PCOS. This is not medical advice. Back in October when I got prescribed, which is what my insurance would cover, because my insurance does cover weight, but they would only cover what was currently at that time FDA approved. So completely out, because even though it was in the FDA approval process, it hadn't been approved yet. So my insurance cover, I was okay with that, because when we first started, I was looking at everything, and yes, I had a significant amount of, but I didn't have more than 100 pounds to lose, so I kind of thought that, you know, would be an okay start for me. And it was a good start, but I ended up needing the stronger med anyway, so it's fine. But so when I got prescribed, August 30th is when I had my appointment. I had already jumped through a lot of the pre-approval process. So my insurance required that I had, you know, tried other things first. And I had already tried and failed metformin. And I had also had at least 4 visits with a dietitian nutritionist, which is also covered by my insurance and is also a benefit of working for the hospital that I work for. We have a wellness center right across the street from my hospital, and they have registered dietitians and nutritionists on staff. And so you can, you know, set an appointment with them and head over there, and it's covered as my insurance and benefits through work. I had already had 4 appointments with her. We had discussed everything, including when the weight suddenly dropped off. She was concerned that it came off too quickly. And then as the weight started coming back, we're like, all right, this is not working. So I had the appointment with my doctor, and I said, all right, I think it's time. I've done the metformin. I've done the wellness. I've done the diet and lifestyle changes and exercise. I've done all that. And the weight's coming back as it always does. I lose it, and then I gain it back and then some. So I was getting to just the point of where I had gained almost all of my weight back, and I'm like, stop, let's not do that again, and let's halt it before I am well into my 200s. And so I went on the medication before I got back over 200 pounds, so yay. So that was August 30th. The first week of September, my prior authorization that my provider put in was approved. My pharmacy called and said, hey, we've got your prior authorization. It has been approved by your insurance. But we need, because your copay is over $100, you know, do you want to add like the savings card to it? So I did. I added the coupon from the manufacturer, which brought my copay down to 0 with my insurance. And they said, all right, great, but we don't have any in stock, but we'll put you on the waiting list. So on the waiting list I went, and I waited almost a month to the day from going on the waiting list until I was able to pick up my starting 0.25 milligram dose. And I was able to get my medication every week on time for the next 26 weeks. There was one moment where one of my coworkers had to go up in dose because they didn't have her dose. We were concerned. I just happened to call at the right time. They had just gotten it in, and so I was able to get the dose that I wanted at that point. And so I never had to go up in dose or down in dose or miss a week because my pharmacy had it in stock the whole time. And they did do a good job of not adding anyone else to the plan that would be more than what they could handle with those who were already receiving medication. So when I was getting ready, you know, to question if we needed to switch to, now that it is FDA approved, and my insurance would cover it, because I was kind of plateauing and only had 1 more dose to go up on. I happened to log into my insurance account and saw that my prior authorization expired in 3 weeks anyway. So it was kismet, perfect timing sort of thing. He was going to have to put in a renewal for prior authorization or put in a new one altogether. We just went ahead, because it's the same exact process anyways, same approval steps. So he just went ahead and put in the new one. Again, my prior authorization was approved in just a couple of days from the time he put it in. My pharmacy actually called me on the day that my prior authorization was approved, or they texted me and said, by the way, your copay is over $100. What do you want to do about it? So I gave them my savings card information, because I already had one from the manufacturer, because I knew the steps this time. And they did not have the 2.5 starting dose, but because with my doctor's discussion, because I'd been, I could go to the first therapeutic dose of is the 5 milligram. Your first dose in both brands. That first one, the 0.25 and the 2.5, they're not really therapeutic. They're just kind of get your body used to the meds doses. But because I'd been on Wegovy for so long, he felt comfortable having me start out at the 5 milligrams, which is what I did, and that's what was available. And I then hit my snafu for this last month. So I got my first box at my pharmacy, and that's it. That's all I've gotten from my insurance approval and coverage. I did reach out to Amble, and I signed up. And yesterday I received my first package of my 5 milligrams of Don't need insurance approval. I am paying out of pocket for that one, but the whole was only $2.99, and that included the telehealth visit and everything. All the supplies get shipped to me, so I can't complain. I mean, yeah, these meds have literally saved my life, so I'm not going to complain about it. It is what it is. I know that's not a feasible option for everybody. Some of you do have to have insurance coverage for it, and there are insurances that are covering it. The problem is the shortage, is getting a pharmacy that has it. And I was one of the last ones who was not having any issues from my pharmacy. Now, I am going to continue to hound my pharmacy and get the ones that my insurance covers. But I've got the backup compound so that I don't miss a dose if I need it. So yeah, that's how I'm getting my meds. A little bit of this and a little bit of that right now.